Hi guys, so the Planet Zoo burnout hit me, and I took a long break from the game for a few months there. I got really into Jurassic World Evolution 2, as you may have seen, but I just recently got back into Planet Zoo, and I came back at the perfect time because, guys, we are totally getting a DLC announcement on Wednesday during the Frontier Unlocked live stream, and I am so excited. I loved the Barnyard Animal Pack, which I sort of predicted in my wishlist roadmap, so I'm counting that as a win for me. But it feels like that pack launched ages ago. We're finally getting some new content for PC, which it's really exciting. And I feel like me and a lot of the community have a really strong idea of what this pack is going to be. Before we even got any hints or teases, I was expecting this to be the last pack. And I want to emphasize that this will almost definitely be our final DLC. I've accepted that we aren't going to get anything crazy or game-changing because with the announcement of Planet Coaster 2, it basically confirmed for me right away that in a few years we're going to get Planet Zoo 2, and the big selling points of that game will be aviaries and aquariums. Obviously, that doesn't stop me from being excited about this new DLC, especially with the theme that they're probably going with. I think we're getting a Zookeepers Collection Pack, or a Zookeepers Animal Pack, or a Zookeepers Collection Animal Pack, even though I think that name is a little too long. Support for Jurassic World Evolution 2 came to an end in May with the Park Manager's Collection Pack, which was a DLC including some very highly requested species by the community. I've always thought of Planet Zoo and Evolution 2 as sister games, because support for both was happening simultaneously and DLC releases were close together, so I would find it fitting if they both ended with similar DLCs, highly requested species packs, especially because the main thing about these games are their animals. That's what they're known for. It would feel fitting, especially for a game like Planet Zoo, which has received support for so long, to end with a celebration of the community. Obviously, though, the comparison with Evolution 2 is not the only reason I think we're getting a Zookeepers Collection Pack. We need to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the Elepha in the room. Frontier recently released an official Planko dictionary, translating the fake language our guests speak in Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. For the most part, it's what you'd expect, general words, stuff referring to theme parks, animals in Planet Zoo, but also some animals not in Planet Zoo. There are a few words that have really stuck out to the community, and I do feel like these are teases, intentional or accidental, for the next DLC. I think 5 species have been teased through this dictionary. Words that have appeared include Hamadryas and baboon, which have since been suspiciously removed after I scoped it out myself. Goodfellows was included, but was removed before I even had the chance to confirm, so I'll just take everybody else's word for it. Still present, though, as of writing this, are secretary, echidna, and impala. This isn't an all-inclusive dictionary. You can scope it out yourself on the Planet Coaster website or the Planet Zoo website. Both are linked below. The point is, these are suspicious, and they stick out as animals purposefully included in a dictionary that doesn't even represent every Planet Zoo animal actually in the game. Most of them are in there, but it doesn't include words like Bengal or Himalayan, for example, and yet it included Hamadryas. I want to address some other things. There are marine animals included in this dictionary like dolphin and eel, but my understanding is that these are referencing animatronics and pieces in Planet Coaster. There are also a lot of birds included like eagle and macaw and raven, which I think are just in here as general words, but I do feel less confident saying that. If anything, these might just be a really early tease for Planet Zoo 2 and what birds we can expect in the next game. I don't think these are referring to the new DLC, but I could be wrong. The word echidna could be included because of Echidna Round, which is a song on the Planet Zoo soundtrack, but I still find this suspicious because the echidna is also a pretty highly requested species. I've heard rumors of other animal sightings in this dictionary, but they were not there when I looked through it, so I couldn't confirm any of them. And then any other suspicious words can probably be attributed to in-game animals, like the word spectacled is probably referring to the caiman, not the bear, stuff like that. The common theme here, with I guess the exception of the impala, is that these are some of the most highly requested animals for Planet Zoo, so I think we're getting a Zookeepers Collection Pack. This DLC is already confirmed to be an animal pack, but I can't say if it will have the normal 8 slots or if, as the last DLC, it'll be a bit bigger. I could see it going either way because on one hand, the Park Manager's Collection Pack was not bigger than the other species packs for Evolution 2. But on the other hand, support for past Frontier games like Evolution 1 and Planet Coaster ended with these bigger DLCs that had more content at a higher price point. It's also worth noting that the Planet Zoo roster is currently at 187 animals, which is only 13 away from the 200 mark. Plus, this November marks the 5-year anniversary of the game, which is a nice, sizable milestone. I could totally see Frontier using the last DLC and one final anniversary update to bring the roster up to that nice, even 200 number. As nicely as that works out, I don't think we should expect this. Right now, all we know is that this DLC is being considered an animal pack, so manage your expectations accordingly. Still, I want to have some fun with you guys and name drop a bunch of species, so I'm going to be proposing 2 versions of the pack throughout the rest of this video. One with 8 animals and one with 12 animals just in case. This is really just to throw out as many animals as possible to get the different possibilities running through your mind. Okay, the most obvious thing for Frontier to do when designing a pack like this would be to literally just work their way down the meta wish list. There are actually 2 main meta wish lists that the community uses. The first one, which I've referenced in my previous videos, was created by Random Goat. If Frontier gave us an animal pack pulled straight from the top of this list, the roster would be the Secretary Bird, the South American Coati, the Walrus, the Goodfellows Tree Kangaroo, the Black Howler Monkey, the Muskox, and the Hamadryas Baboon. There is also an exhibit animal wish list created by Darthquell, and sitting at the top of that list is the Panther Chameleon, so that's going in the exhibit animal slot. For an extended roster of 12, we would also see the Golden Lion Tamarin, the Shoebill, the West Indian Manatee, and the Gray-Crowned Crane. By now, I've accepted that Frontier will save the manatee for Planet Zoo 2, so that species will be replaced by the ocelot. Would you be happy with a DLC based directly off of this wish list? The second meta wish list used by the community was created by Suzy Sky and is a more present-day reflection of the community's wants. A roster based on this wish list would include the South American Coati, the Secretary Bird, the Goodfellows Tree Kangaroo, the Black Howler Monkey, the Geoffroy's Spider Monkey, the Spectacled Bear, and the Markhor. Once again, I'm using the Panther Chameleon as the exhibit animal. An extended version of this roster brings in some excluded species that were in the first one, like the Muskox, the Golden Lion Tamarin, the Gray-Crowned Crane, and the Hamadryas Baboon. Now, you may notice that neither of these wish lists have the echidna or the impala high enough to qualify if Frontier did something as literal as this, so they're obviously not going to do this. I didn't think they would anyway. Like I said, this was really just to share with you guys what the most requested species are according to these community wish lists, and by extension, what some of the most likely candidates are for this upcoming DLC. But let's get into my version of this pack, which is a balance of what I want, what the community wants, and what I think Frontier is going to do. I think Random Goat's wishlist is a great starting point, but we need to add in our 2 missing dictionary animals. So I'm putting the echidna in place of the coati, and I'm putting the impala in place of the muskox. I would be happy with the Panther Chameleon, but I'd hope Frontier would go big with the exhibit animal for this final community requested pack, and we haven't gotten a species for the walkthrough exhibits since the Oceania pack, so I'm sticking to my guns and I'm replacing the chameleon with budgies. No cockatiels, no lorikeets, just budgies, but with all their different color morphs and mutations. Again, these guys are number 1 on my personal wish list. The walkthrough exhibits are literally perfect for the parakeet walkthroughs that I see all the time in real life, and I think of this as a little nugget for us, teasing the full-fledged aviaries that will probably be in Planet Zoo 2. So this is my 8 animal prediction. In a 12 animal version of this pack, I'm immediately adding the great white pelican. I need a pelican so desperately, but I couldn't bring myself to swap out the walrus or the howler monkey. It would be a bit of wasted potential for us to get the mute swan in the Eurasia animal pack, and then nothing else before the end of support that reuses its unique rig. I still think a pelican would be perfect. This also brings the number of birds in this pack up to 3, beating the previous record of 2 set by Oceania. Frankly, it's the least Frontier can do for us. Next, I'm adding back in the coati and the muskox, so the community doesn't burn me at the stake. And then for the last slot, I'm going with the spectacled bear. Would I rather have the shoebill or the spider monkey? Yes, I would, but I feel like 4 birds in one pack is getting unrealistic, and I feel the same about 3 primates in one pack. 2 is already pushing it with the howler and the baboon. I've picked the spectacled bear because it's highly requested, but I think it would still be a relatively easy animal for Frontier to make. That's why I haven't disregarded the impala. It's a species that I do want, it's just really low down for me, but I know it would be a species very easy for Frontier to make based on what we already have in the game. They always need a couple of these easier animals in a pack, especially in one like this, where there's so much body diversity, and in the case of the secretary bird and tree kangaroo, there are some entirely unique rigs that would need to be made. So I'm cutting Frontier some slack by actually considering the impala as an inclusion and then throwing in the spectacled bear. So this is my 12 animal Zookeepers Collection Pack roster, and then ideally on the game's anniversary, we'd get one more animal to bring the roster from 199 to 200. I'm not going to get super into my anniversary animal guesses. I'm still thinking the Nile crocodile, or maybe the American flamingo, or because it's the last bit of new content that the game would receive, Frontier could go all out and give us something a bit more noteworthy, like the ocelot, for example. Who knows? Again, I don't want people finishing this video expecting all of this to happen and then being disappointed when we don't get it. This is just speculation. I want to emphasize that. All we know is that we're getting one more animal pack, so expect 8 animals unless we're told otherwise on Wednesday. Be sure to watch Frontier Unlocked. They said we won't want to miss this stream, so I'm very excited, and I had to get a video out as soon as I could before it's rendered obsolete by Wednesday when I'm proven either right or wrong. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, enjoy whatever is coming our way. I'll be watching with you on Wednesday. Bye, guys.